My little Elizabeth will know books and counsel. Let her wit shine, just not in a way that makes her father lose his temper. Though Anne Boleyn's crown rested on uncertain ground, her love for her daughter Elizabeth never wavered. Unlike many monarchs of her age, Anne insisted that her child be close to her, and spoke of her with fierce devotion. Elizabeth is my sorrow, but also my life. If aught comes to me, let her be cared for she is the greatest jewel of my heart. Your Grace, many say it is unseemly to favour a daughter so. The court whispers still that only a son may secure you. Then let them whisper. This child will outshine them all. She is as wise as she is fair, and I would have her with me always, not locked away in some distant nursery. I love you so much, my little one. Words can't truly describe how you've stolen my heart. Wow, look at her. See how she grasps even for pearls? Already she has a queen's spirit. My Elizabeth shall lack for nothing. In these moments, Anne's heart was laid bare. Whatever storms brewed at court, her love for Elizabeth burned brighter than crowns or thrones, a mother's devotion in an age that prized sons above all else. Lady Mary, you are to recognize Queen Anne and acknowledge her daughter as your sister and heir. I will not call her queen. My mother is the only lawful wife of my father. I am the true princess. Mary's defiance enraged Henry. He forbade her from seeing her mother again. She was stripped of her title and moved to live under Elizabeth's roof. Henry VIII was determined to secure his authority, not only over his family, but over the church itself. Parliament would soon confirm his supremacy. Your Majesty, Parliament affirms your supremacy over the church. All subjects must take the oath. Then England bows to no foreign bishop. I am king in my own realm, and no bishop shall tell me otherwise. Those who opposed him, like Sir Thomas More, would pay dearly for their conscience. He was a man who had shaped the conscience of a nation, becoming a symbol of resistance, his final words echoing louder than any crown or court. As Henry prepared to move forward with his new queen, tragedy struck in the form of Catherine of Aragon's passing. For Mary, it was a moment of profound grief. Your Majesties, Queen Catherine has passed. God be praised. Now there will be no rival queen. Let all of England know the sun has returned to my court. Then we shall wear yellow for the sun's return, and perhaps remind the courtiers that joy can be fashionable too. Mary was not allowed to attend the funeral. While Henry and Anne celebrated, she mourned in silence, grieving her mother and the last tie to her rightful place. Her mother had dedicated her adult life to England, Henry, and eventually her beloved daughter Mary. She was just one of the victims of Henry's wrath. At court, smiles and grief collided, creating a tense backdrop for the royal household. While the court watched Anne's and Henry's stormy marriage, another family was quietly positioning themselves. The Seymour household, with Jane at its center, saw an opportunity to rise in influence if they played their cards carefully. Sister, gentle, quiet, yielding, that is the way to win favor with the king. Do not let your fire show, and the crown may notice. Yes, smile sweetly, Jane, and let ambition be ours, not yours. The king's eye is easily caught, and a clever family knows when to bend without breaking. I will serve as commanded. The rest is in God's hands. But Edward, Thomas, we must not let our eagerness betray us. A small risk for a large reward. Keep your wits sharp, Jane, and the court will think you angelic, while we do the scheming behind the curtain. Yes, sister, angelic in public, strategic in private. The king has a habit of noticing both. I don't know, brothers. Thomas, cut her off. If it isn't you, it'll be another woman. Might as well take advantage, Jane. The headmaster grows tired of his queen. But sister, make sure not to go to bed with him. It's either marry him or nothing. How about nothing? Wrong choice. You're going to marry him. Jane's meekness in virtue charmed Henry, while her brothers worked diligently behind the scenes, ensuring that their family's star might rise, quietly, patiently, and without drawing unwanted attention. Even in the shadow of royal power, the clever courtiers, and sometimes the Queen herself, found moments of levity. Anne and her brother George often used wit to cope with the king's mercurial temper and whims. George, have you seen him pacing again? One would think he could solve all of England's troubles if he stomped hard enough. Indeed, sister, and if one more courtesan catches his eye, I fear the poor man will need both a new heart and new sight training. Do you suppose he imagines he is a charming boy at court, rather than the King of England? Perhaps he does, but beware, Anne. If he ever hears us laughing at him, I suspect that charming boy could become a fearsome bear. Then let us laugh quietly, my brother. It is safer to smile behind the crown than to mock it openly. These fleeting moments of humour allowed Anne and George to maintain their spirits amidst the tension at court. Though Henry was difficult to tolerate, their wit offered a brief escape and a subtle reminder that courage and cleverness often thrived in the shadows of power.
Lady Jane, His Majesty sends you this purse of sovereigns, with his good favour and remembrance. Good master, pray return it unto his Majesty. I have no treasure but my honour, and that must not be stained. Tell his Grace that if he wishes to bestow gifts, let them be when God shall make me worthy, by marriage. Till then, I cannot receive aught. Lady, few would deny the king such a token. Do you not fear his displeasure? I fear God more, and my honour is not for sale. Tell his Grace that I would rather fall before bringing dishonour upon myself or my family. Jane's refusal, carried faithfully back to the king, only deepened Henry's fascination. Her chastity and restraint, so unlike Anne's boldness, gave the Seymours their opening, and Henry a vision of a new wife who might yet give him the son he longed for. Even as Anne bore the pressures of court, she could not ignore the king's wandering attention. Tensions grew, and a confrontation became inevitable. Henry, I will speak plainly. I know of your attentions elsewhere. Is this the love you swore to me when we wed? Anne, you know the court is full of eyes and temptations. I do not take pleasure in scandal, but my heart, it moves as it will. Is that the excuse of a king, or a man who forgets the vows he made? I am your wife, your queen, yet you look elsewhere. Perhaps the fault is mine, but I am a man with needs. Must you weigh every glance and every word like a magistrate? I weigh them because your glance should be mine, and your word should honour me, not chase shadows. Are we to be partners, or will I forever play second to your caprice? Caprice? My Anne, you make it sound as if I am a child. You think all men are bound by promises alone? If your crown cannot hold you to one promise, how can it hold England? I am your queen, Henry. Respect me as such, or see the consequences. Anne's courage in confronting the king was remarkable, but Henry's charm, temper, and authority made compromise nearly impossible. Their love, once fiery and mutual, now burned with suspicion and anger. Even kings are not immune to misfortune. During a tournament in 1536, Henry VIII suffered a dangerous fall from his horse. The court watched in horror as their powerful monarch was thrown violently to the ground. Steady now! Steady! Ha! Onward! By God, that beast will pay for this. Guards, see to it. I need aid at once. My lord, are you unharmed? Shall we fetch the physicians? A bruised shoulder is no reason to panic, yet someone remind me to keep the horse in line next time. The fall left Henry shaken, and Anne, pregnant at the time, was terrified. This accident, coupled with her eventual miscarriage shortly after, added to the tension and uncertainty at court. By the spring of 1536, Henry's doubts had hardened into bitter conviction. Anne's miscarriage of a son after Henry's fall from his horse deepened his despair. Soon his words to her revealed the cruel certainty forming in his mind. I see that God will not give me sons by you. My lord, do not say so. Have I not given you Elizabeth, bright and clever as any prince? With time we may yet have sons. Time, Anne. Time has been wasted. Years spent, and England still waits for a prince. Do you not see? This marriage, this bond, it is cursed. Cursed? Or do you call it cursed because your eye wanders elsewhere? You loved me once enough to break kingdoms apart. I broke kingdoms for a son, and God denies me still. That is no small matter, Anne. England demands an heir, and I will not leave my crown to chance. You would cast me aside? After all we endured, England must have a prince. If God withholds him from you, then I must seek him elsewhere. Your Majesty, whispers spread among the council. Some question the Queen's ability to bear sons. Others accuse her of favoring certain courtiers too closely. Whispers. Shall I listen to idle tongues over my own heart? I have given her my love, my trust. Yet the court grows restless. Sire, it is not only the council. Some claim the Queen's behavior is improper. If she cannot secure the dynasty with the male heir, these accusations could endanger your crown. So it seems the court prefers a son to my affection. Perhaps it is time to act before the murmurs become a threat. I have given you Elizabeth. I have loved you faithfully. What more can a queen offer? A son, Anne. England demands a son, and the court, it will not wait for prayers or promises. If the Queen cannot provide him, my duty must come first. The king's decision was not born from hatred alone, but from fear, politics, and desperation for a male heir. Rumors of Anne's alleged indiscretions, later proven false, combined with miscarriages and factional court intrigue, gave Henry reason to turn decisively against her. The stage was set for betrayal, confrontation, and tragedy. The inevitable culmination of political maneuvering, court whispers, and Henry's shifting affection came to a head. Anne Boleyn, once the beloved queen, faced arrest for treason, adultery, and conspiracy, a charge many historians believe was fabricated. By order of the king, your grace, you are under arrest for treason. If any man accuses me, I can say no more but nay, and they can bring no proof. Then let them accuse us of loving too well the king's cause. Anne Boleyn, once adored, was led to the Tower. Within 3 years of Elizabeth's birth, her triumph had turned to sorrow. Rumors, court intrigue, and Henry's desire for a male heir would soon lead to her trial, where the fate of a queen and the future of a dynasty hung in the balance.